And now for the big Mail Today exclusive. 11 Indians had joined the Islamic State. 5 died, 1 returned to India. And the shocking part is that 5 are still fighting in Iraq and Syria. Yes, that's the latest. It's a startling acknowledgement from the Intelligence Bureau. It has for the first time reported that a total of 11 Indians, including 4 youths from Kalyan in Maharashtra, had joined ISIS. Now, remember, this was not out in the public domain, this particular information. The latest that we are, in fact, the information that we are getting is that the secret IB report has identified 5 Indians who died fighting in Iraq and Syria. The report also says that no Indians joined the terror group in the past 6 months, while Arif Majid, one of the Kalyan youth, returned to India and was taken into custody by the national investigation agencies. 5 Indians are still fighting for ISIS, and that really is the new information that the Intelligence Bureau report actually suggests, that it's not just the 4 Kalyan youth, 5 have died in Iraq and Syria, and there are 5 more who are alive and still fighting and are part of the ISIS. Now, do remember, the report on the status of Indians fighting for ISIS was prepared in response to a question in Parliament in March, but was not given since these were secret intelligence details that could not be made public. Let's quickly go across to Abhishek Bhalla of Mail Today, who has actually got this particular Mail Today exclusive story. Morning, Abhishek. Can you tell us in greater detail what exactly does the IB in its report mention? The salient features. Number one, from what I gather, the new element is that there are 5 more Indians, 5 more who are still fighting in Iraq and Syria.
Yes, this report is of great significance, keeping in mind the fact that this is the first time there is official confirmation by an intelligence agency that it's not just the 4 Kalyan youth who were in the war zone in Iraq and Syria fighting for the Islamic State, but in fact there were 7 others along with them in the last few months who traveled to Iraq and Syria and were fighting for the ISIS. Now, why it's even more important is because it gives a status of the people who joined the ISIS. 5 of them are still fighting over there, while 5 are dead. That's a big disclosure that IB has made.
Now, Abhishek, your report mentions that there are 5 Indians who were identified, as fighting in Iraq and Syria. They are dead, but they have been identified. Can you tell us which part of the country were they actually from?
Yes, all 11 who have joined the ISIS, according to the IB report, have been identified. The agencies have the particulars of their families, where they come from, where they live, etc. But these are operational details. I've been requested by my sources not to reveal these. However, I have a fair idea that most of them come from the south of India, and in fact 5 of them had traveled to the Gulf countries before joining the ISIS. They were self-radicalized when they went to the Gulf. They were picked up by their handlers over there. They went through another round of radicalization and motivation, and then they were finally taken to Iraq and Syria and put in the war zone.
Now, this report also talks about the fact, and something that Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, Abhishek, has mentioned in Parliament also, that over the past 6 months, no Indian has joined the ISIS. That also finds a mention in this report.
Well, that's something that the agencies are happy about. They are seeing it as a positive sign that the last few months the appeal of ISIS amongst the Indian youth has dipped, and that's the reason why in the last few months, 6 months in particular, there have been no cases reported. The agencies are not aware whether any Indian actually joined ISIS. In fact, they have categorically denied this. They've said that in the last 6 months nobody has joined the ISIS, and that's a positive sign. They are happy about it, and the agencies are working on the suspicious elements, and they call them the fringe elements, who are ISIS sympathizers, and they are saying that a close watch is being kept on such elements, and there is nothing to fear. And one thing is for sure, that ISIS does not have that big an appeal on the Indian youth as they have on the Western youth.
Absolutely. Now, Abhishek, my final question. We know that Mehdi Biswas, there has been a charge sheet that has been filed by the Bengaluru Crime Branch Police, a 40,000-page charge sheet for handling the Twitter account, which was a pro-ISIS Twitter handle. Arif Majid has been interrogated by the NIA He has in fact told NIA that Indians were being treated as second-class citizens. The Arabs were given much more importance. Do you think that there is perhaps a need, or already is happening, some greater coordination between all these agencies which are in India, which are investigating the role of the ISIS and its impact on Indian youth?
Well, Mehdi Biswas's case and also Arif Majid, who along with the three other Kalyan youth went there earlier. Arif Majid told his interrogators that he was picked up online by jihadi recruiters from ISIS, and we know, our agencies are aware that the cyberspace is the big recruitment area for such jihadi groups, and they are very, very active in the cyberspace, and monitoring of the cyberspace is a big challenge for our agencies. The Home Ministry is working on it. A special committee has been set up only to track the cyberspace, and that's one area that needs some more coordination, certainly. Over the last few months, there have been certain good results, as a result of which many of such elements have been kept under control. There's been a close watch on them, and our agencies believe that they've been able to somehow ensure that these elements do not get out of hand, they do not go on a recruiting spree. So there are positive signs in the last few months.
So as far as this IB report is concerned, 5 people have died fighting, and there are 5 who are still alive and are fighting in Iraq and Syria as part of the IB, as part of the ISIS, but no new recruitment has taken place, Abhishek, over the past 6 months is what this IB report actually mentions. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Of course, you can catch all the latest details regarding this particular IB report in today's edition of Mail Today, which also names and identifies those who have actually died, the 5 youth who actually died fighting for the ISIS. This will remain our top focus here on India Today as well.